Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call of supervisors, please. I received a call from Supervisor Gail Gentz, Clark, Arrington, and Haas that they would not be in attendance, and I believe I've not heard from Grady. Supervisor Jeff Gentz and Supervisor Michael are part of the joint services. I believe they're doing interviews, so they may or may not get here this evening. I've not heard from O'Day or what's the other one? I mentioned Grady, I guess. O'Day's car is out. So, if they get here, they get here. 19 in attendance. Citizen comments. Seeing the lone citizen in the audience. Ms.
Edna
Highland.
Highland, 426 8th Place, Kenosha, 53140. I'd like to say that it's been very rewarding to be on the Board of Trustees at Brookside, and I'm here tonight to ask your support to please reappoint me for another term. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else, I trust there are no other citizen comments. Seeing none, citizen comments are closed. I have several announcements that I'll go through. Youth and Governance had a tour last week that the Extension Office puts together every year when we bring in a new class of Youth and Governance members. And I talked with Teddy Winnett this past week, and she just wanted me to make sure that, wanted me to understand and to express how much she wants to thank the staff, primarily the department head, division heads. They open up their offices, the opportunity for these kids to be a part of learning and understanding what goes on within each of the divisions and each of the departments here in Kenosha County. And it is year after year a great experience for them. So she's very appreciative to all of the staff for what they do for the kids. And it's a day-long tour. Unfortunately, I didn't get here. I had something come up and completely had to skip it, although I understand the county executive didn't do it either. So certainly I do what I can and try as much as I can to be a part of that, but this year I wasn't able to. So to our staff, we certainly appreciate it. In the course of the conversation, Teddy also shared with me that it was brought to her attention our desire to have a economic impact study done of Country Thunder and what that event brings to our community, to the Kenosha County. She is extremely excited to be able to have the opportunity to do it. Is confident that they have a significant amount of information available at their disposal, and they can put something together for us pretty quickly. So I'm hopeful that we can see something of that shortly from her. And I guess from my standpoint, the good news is we may have an opportunity to look at other events and other things that take place in Kenosha County that may or may not have an economic impact or be able to answer that question. So certainly I'm supportive of the fact that her office believes they have the capability and the information to be able to pull that together. Executive committee update. Well, a couple other things. I have on my desk here, I had the opportunity today to meet the new Miss Kenosha, and that is Ashley Dennis. She was spoke at our Rotary Club, and she spoke about something. Her platform is suicide prevention, teen suicide, and she is someone who lost a brother at 16 years old about 4 years ago to suicide. So she knows it firsthand, and shared with me today, which a fact that I didn't know. I believe there's been 7 suicides, teen suicides. I say teen, I could be wrong on that fact, in Kenosha County already this year, which is up significantly from where we typically are. And all of that certainly should give us all reason to pause. I know we have worked hard in Kenosha County to address that issue. Clearly there continues to be work to be done. Ashley holds a walk called Miles for Matt. It's a 5K walk. I'm going to give this information to the county clerk, ask you to maybe scan it if you can and email it out to everybody. If you have interest or would like to share it with someone, please feel free to do so. And I guess we need to be diligent about the fact that we continue to have a suicide problem here in Kenosha County. I believe it's a problem. I think one is a problem. And and we should continue through our Human Services group to address that and work as hard as we can to mitigate it as best we can. This Friday, July 8th, the Green Ribbon Committee will meet with our consultant who we have on board to do the master planning for the park. I believe that meeting is at 2 o'clock. Don't quote me on that. I will update you, or Chairman of the Highway and Parks, Dennis Elverman, can update us next meeting as well to give you a sense of where that's headed right now. Just briefly on tonight's meeting, I'm not inclined to cancel a meeting. I know it's a light agenda, but when we don't know about it until Friday, through nobody's fault, it's just the process that we have. We've got 2 appointments, they're action items. You don't know who's going to be here from the public who has an interest in addressing the board. We meet twice a month. I'm going to continue to hold these meetings unless we can provide a little bit more advance notice. So I guess we'll have to be prepared to having a short agenda every once in a while. Executive Committee. Our meeting is next Tuesday, the 12th. It's going to be at 6 o'clock instead of 6:30. I've got a conflict or an issue later that evening that I'm going to try to get to if I can. So we're going to meet at 6 o'clock. We will talk a little bit about the casino extension to give you a quick update on that. We are looking to pull together a meeting with the city, the county, and the tribe over the next week or two to begin to address what has transpired, what's changed over the last couple of weeks at the federal level with the lawsuit, where we're headed, what we believe that may or may not be from a longer-term extension. I can tell you that there are some changes within the organization right now, that there are potential changes within the organization, that would be the development team, that is, that they will be bringing forward to us at some point in time as they progress down the road, all in response to questions that have been raised not only here, but I trust at the Common Council as well. We will talk about, we've got an ordinance change that we're discussing right now with the intention of moving that on to Supervisor Hallman's committee regarding County Board IT, which will address committee meeting minutes and County Board meeting minutes and the drafting, posting, and making available of such minutes. So we'll have that coming forward here shortly. I want to update you on the emergency services, the payments from the City of Kenosha. We did get a certain portion of what is outstanding for rent and capital costs. Not all of it. They did meet last week and apparently have at least come to recognition of what some of the outstanding issues are. The intention is to get that resolved relatively shortly. It's my understanding, based on how the city had budgeted their 2011 budget, we will not see final payment until the end of the year. I don't quite understand that. If the payments are due now, the payments ought to be paid now, but I'll leave that to Corp Counsel and the Executive's office to work through those details in the short term anyways. There is a mediation scheduled for Monday the 11th. I believe that's next Monday, on the Health Department balance with the City of Kenosha. Where that goes at this point in time, I'm not certain. I'm incredibly disappointed, however, that within the last week, I believe, Corporation Counsel can correct me, maybe a week and a half, they were served, Corp Counsel's office was served, Kenosha County was served with nearly 900 questions from the City of Kenosha specific to that particular issue. If you do the math on that, they owe us $500,000. They submit nearly 900 questions. It's a heck of a price tag per question, and it just seems to me at this point in time, you're literally a week from mediation. This has been going on for years, and all of a sudden they've got nearly 900 questions they want to have asked and answered. Seems absolutely ridiculous, and sends to me a pretty clear message that no matter who I run into at the city, when they tell me we really want to get this resolved and work something out, it would seem to me they have no interest in doing that whatsoever. The redistricting process, a quick update on that. And this is an email that came from the county clerk. I appreciate the heads up on this. At this point in time, resolutions have been adopted by the Village of Paddock Lake, the Village of Bristol, the Town of Somers, and Town of Paris relative to their wards. City of Kenosha plans to adopt a resolution on the 6th of July. That would be, I guess, tomorrow, as does the Village of Silver Lake. Salem and Wheatland are scheduled for the 11th of July, Randall for the 14th of July. Pleasant Prairie, Genoa City, and Twin Lakes are still up in the air at this point in time. I trust they all know that July 15th is the deadline, and they'll respond accordingly. And at that point, we'll have something back here to the county board. So I don't know if the vice chairman has anything to add to that, but certainly he's welcome to do it if he would like. And I believe that is all I have. Supervisor reports. Supervisor Elverman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We did not have a Parks and Facilities meeting, naturally, because of the 4th of July, but I have one thing to report on. Those of us west of here didn't experience it, but those of you in the city did. The storm from last Thursday evening going into Friday. The county's portion of damage was mostly at the Kemper Center property. I spoke to Mr. Rudy today. He said we lost 44 trees. If anybody goes down there, I went down there tonight, you'll naturally see going down that whole street. 44 trees, some damage to the property, some damage to some of the roofs, and they anticipate another 2 weeks for cleanup there. And I don't doubt it once I saw what I saw this evening. The Highway Department has been helping because the Parks Department was just overwhelmed. So Mr. Sipsman has had some of his people down there and equipment down there. So we don't know yet. Mr. Rudy did not know if insurance is going to cover any of this. Some of the roof damage possibly, and right now they're just trying to clean it up. And there are some trees that will be just trimmed and left, and then recommendations given as to what we're going to save, not save. But right now they've got the streets clear, the sidewalks clear, and a lot of things to clean up. So that's where we are now. Thank you.
Supervisor Elverman, if you would, I had an inquiry today from a former county board supervisor about the county's ability to quickly reforest, if you will, I'll put it that way, the Kemper property. And I don't know what may or may not be available through the Highway and Parks Department, Parks Division in particular, but if you could look into that issue and maybe get back to me, I would trust there's some tree availability somewhere, but we should probably take a look at that pretty quickly, and I'd like to maybe see if we have a plan to address that as expeditiously as possible.
Yeah, I think once we see, what's left there, what is savable, there are, there's many options. I've dabbled in that business for 41 years. There's many options as far as reforesting, but no, you don't grow a 300-year-old tree.
No, you don't.
No. So, and we lost numerous ones down there. So,
Oh,
yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Supervisor Hallman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As many of you may recall from the last meeting, I had said that I would compile the information I received from my White House briefing on June 17th to present to you all. There was a public briefing. Thank you for those of you who sent me Facebook messages and emails saying that you could or could not attend. I appreciate that. What I did do was I compiled the information with relevant links. It was essentially my notes and links from the internet, and posted it to the county website. Before this meeting, that PDF was actually emailed to you, so it should be sitting in your email account so that you can view it at your leisure. If you have any questions about any of the information there that you see, feel free to give me a call. I will tell you that there is some video that I obtained from the event that will not be made public because apparently, I guess, I'm not supposed to have it. So I do have it, but if you wish to see it, you should make an appointment to see me, provided you are not the Secret Service. Thank you.
Apparently not aware that you're not required to incriminate yourself. I applaud your effort. I was at least briefly until I received the phone call that trees were falling down around my house in rapid succession Thursday night, which is why I left in a hurry. But you clearly spent the time and effort to put together the information that you presented. It's unfortunate that you were at least neck and neck with the superintendent with the number of attendees, but I guess you can't get people to turn out by force. So I applaud the effort. There's a lot of good information there. Supervisor Singer.
That was a good meeting and a good presentation by Supervisor Hallman. I just wanted to report that I went to the Emergency Management Committee meeting, and it was held at the Roundy's process or food center over just west of Shopko. And I always thought they just made ice cream and ice cubes and water there, but they do a lot there. They've really expanded their production facility there. They gave us a tour of the area. They make salads, bratwurst, hamburgers, all sorts of things, and it's just amazing. And it was well worth going to. I guess they have one of those every 5 years, so you didn't go, you missed it. But it was pretty interesting. And they also talked about, there are obviously the emergency management issues there. There was people from representing a lot of different areas, and I thought it was really interesting, the meeting itself. So I just wanted to report on that.
Thank you. Supervisor Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Kemper Center is adjacent to my district. It's in Supervisor Zurban's district. If you haven't driven by Kemper Center, it's certainly worthwhile to see the kind of damage that was done there, as well as in the neighborhood, as well as in Southport Park. I would ask that someone inquire as to whether we could partner with the city. Are there FEMA funds available for correction of some of the damage? Anderson Arts Center fence is severely damaged. Will that cover that, as well as some of the other damage to even roadways? I think the city and county should take a look into partnering that, even if our experience has not been particularly positive most recently with partnering. This might be an opportune time also to seek some help from the general public. There are probably a number of people in the community who go to both Southport Park, which suffered a lot of damage, as well as Kemper Center, who would be interested in donating a tree. Donate a tree might be a good promotional slogan for reforestation. I also understand, in talking with Clarence Griffin today, a longtime member of that board, that there is a landscaping plan that has been developed and is available. We may want to now put that into practice. So this is just a few ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. And I drove through Carthage a couple of times over this weekend, and it's all up and down, as we know. Pleasant Prairie to Summers, border to border in Kenosha County. Carthage lost a significant number of centuries-old oak trees on their property, and it's most unfortunate. Beautiful campus they have there, much like Kemper Center and others. So I trust that Supervisor Elberman can bring this issue up in committee and see what we can do to push that along. Supervisor Brunig.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to inform you that on Monday evening, the 11th, I will be giving a presentation to the Salem Town Board regarding youth and governance. They are actually looking of having discussion and action on it that night. So looks like youth and governance will be expanding their role, and I will be working with the department again to set that up in the town. So again, thank you for bringing that program forward to us.
Thank you. Supervisor Jeff Gentz, if I put you on the spot, are you prepared to give us a brief update on joint services?
Certainly.
Beautiful.
My board is waiting for Mr. Michael and I to get back to continue deliberations on the 5 directors that we interviewed. So
the interviews are complete?
The interviews
and
are
your intention
complete.
is to deliberate this evening and bring something forward? Fabulous. Anything else?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Clerk.
Resolutions, one reading, number 25 from Human Services Committee, a resolution to approve the reappointment of Seimer Adler to the Kenosha County Commission on Aging.
Without any opposition, we can move both 25 and 26 together after having been read.
Okay. Submitted by Human Service, Doug Noble, yes. Jeff Gentz, yes. Celebrity, yes. Aaron Decker, yes. Arrington, yes. Kubicki, yes. Rose, yes. And that's unanimous for both of them. 26 is from Human Service Committee, a resolution to approve the reappointment of Edna Highland to the Brookside Board of Trustees.
Supervisor Noble.
I move resolutions 25 and 26.
Resolutions 25 and 26 moved by Supervisor Noble, seconded by Supervisor Jeff Gentz. Supervisor Noble.
Mr. Seymour Adler is a reappointment. He's succeeding himself with, and he will serve without pay. He will serve until the 31st day of December 2013, and Mr. Adler attended 11 out of 16 meetings since he's been appointed to that committee. So, and Ms. Highland, which she was here tonight and spoke, she was also appointed by the county executive, succeeding herself. She will serve without pay, but will receive a per diem. And she attended 14 out of 14 meetings in 2010. I urge your approval of both reappointments.
Anyone on either Resolution 25 or 26? Seeing no lights, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
Approval of the June 21st, 2011 minutes by Supervisor Gable.
Supervisor Gable.
Move to approve the minutes.
Move to approve the minutes by Supervisor Gable, second by Supervisor Esposito. Anyone on the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Motion adjourned by Supervisor Michael, seconded by Supervisor Jeff Gentz. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, we are adjourned.